When one door closes another door opens, but we so often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door, that we do not see the ones which open for us. Sometimes we stare so long at a door that is closing that we see too late the one that is open. Before anything else, preparation is the key to success. Educate the masses, elevate their standard of intelligence, and you will certainly have a successful nation. America is a country of inventors, and the greatest of inventors are the newspaper men. I do not recognize the right of the public to break in the front door of a man's private life in order to satisfy the gaze of the curious. I do not think it right to dissect living men even for the advancement of science. So far as I am concerned, I prefer a post-mortem examination to vivisection without anesthetics. My knowledge of electrical subjects was not acquired in a methodical manner but was picked up from such books as I could get hold of and from such experiments as I could make with my own hands. In this experiment, made on the 9th of October, 1876, actual conversation, backwards and forwards, upon the same line, and by the same instruments reciprocally used, was successfully carried on for the first time upon a real line of miles in length. I would impress upon your minds the fact that if you want to do a man justice, you should believe what a man says himself rather than what people say he says. Great discoveries and improvements invariably involve the cooperation of many minds. I may be given credit for having blazed the trail, but when I look at the subsequent developments I feel the credit is due to others rather than to myself. What this power is I cannot say, all I know is that it exists and it becomes available only when a man is in that state of mind in which he knows exactly what he wants and is fully determined not to quit until he finds it. It is a neck-and-neck race between Mr. Gray and myself who shall complete our apparatus first. He has the advantage over me in being a practical electrician, but I have reason to believe that I am better acquainted with the phenomena of sound than he is, so that I have an advantage there. It is not, of course, complete yet, but some sentences were understood this afternoon. I feel that I have at last struck the solution of a great problem, and the day is coming when telegraph wires will be laid onto houses just like water or gas, and friends converse with each other without leaving home. The most successful men in the end are those whose success is the result of steady accretion. I have discovered that my interest in my dear pupil, Mabel, has ripened into a far deeper feeling than that of mere friendship. In fact, I know that I have learned to love her very sincerely. From my earliest childhood, my attention was specially directed to the subject of acoustics, and specially to the subject of speech, and I was urged by my father to study everything relating to these subjects, as they would have an important bearing upon what was to be my professional work. Such a chimerical idea as telegraphing vocal sounds would indeed, to most minds, seem scarcely feasible enough to spend time in working over. I believe, however, that it is feasible and that I have got the key to the solution of the problem. Morse conquered his electrical difficulties although he was only a painter, and I don't intend to give in either till all is completed. It is hardly an exaggeration to say that oral teachers and sign teachers found it difficult to sit down in the same room without quarreling, and there was intolerance upon both sides. To say oral method to a sign teacher was like waving a red flag in the face of a bull, and to say sign language to an oral is to rouse the deepest resentment. The day will come when the man at the telephone will be able to see the distant person to whom he is speaking. Don't keep forever on the public road, going only where others have gone and following one after the other like a flock of sheep. Leave the beaten track occasionally and dive into the woods. Dumbness comes from the fact that a child is born deaf and that it consequently never learns how to articulate, for it is by the medium of hearing that such instruction is acquired. When one door closes, another opens, but we often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the one which is open for us. Concentrate all your thoughts upon the work in hand. The sun's rays do not burn until brought to a focus. You cannot force ideas. Successful ideas are the result of slow growth. Ideas do not reach perfection in a day, no matter how much study is put upon them. Another discovery which came out of my investigation was the fact that when one gives his or her order to produce a definite result and stands by that order, it seems to have the effect of giving one what might be termed a second sight, which enables him or her to see right through ordinary problems. What this power is I cannot say. All I know is that it exists, and it becomes available only when one is in that state of mind in which he or she knows exactly what one wants and is fully determined not to quit until he or she finds it. The inventor is a man who looks around upon the world and is not contented with things as they are. He wants to improve whatever he sees, he wants to benefit the world, he is haunted by an idea. The spirit of invention possesses him, seeking materialization. Leave the beaten track behind occasionally and dive into the woods. Every time you do, you will be certain to find something you have never seen before. We are all too much inclined, I think, to walk through life with our eyes shut. There are things all round us and right at our very feet that we have never seen, because we have never really looked. I have traveled around the globe. I have seen the Canadian and American Rockies, the Andes, the Alps and the Highlands of Scotland, but for simple beauty, Cape Breton outrivals them all.